What up, YTBC? What up, boxing world? What's going on? What's going on? Well, let me get straight to it, man. This is a prediction video for Mayweather, Pacquiao, happening in less than 6 days. About 5 days, this fight is on. Now, let me say something. I'm gonna get straight to the point. It's not because I'm biased or anything like that. I'm not biased. I don't care either whoever wins. I know it's boxing. Any punch could land somebody, could knock somebody out. Somebody could get hurt. All that. And I'm telling you, I don't care who wins this fight. I really don't. I really don't care who wins this fight. Right? What I truly really want is to see a good fight. I want to see my $100 worth of fighting. But I'm gonna tell you what I see happening in this fight. I'm gonna tell you how I see this fight going, who I see winning it, because I spent years analyzing this fight. And after all these years analyzing this fight, I want to say this, man. First of all, let me say this. There's a lot of people out there. You know what? Let me tell you my prediction, then I'm going to tell you what I'm going to say. I see this fight. A lot of people are not going to understand what's going to be happening in this fight, man. They're going to look at this fight like, what's going on? They're going to be confused. Especially people that are invested in this fight. I see Manny Pacquiao having less than 20% chance of winning this fight. I'm going to be honest with you. I see Floyd Mayweather winning this fight convincingly. Convincingly. To the point where this fight might be a stoppage, man. I'm being honest with you. And that's just my prediction after analyzing this fight. And I even tried to give Pacquiao certain advantages in my mind to see if I can make this fight closer, to see if this happened, what would happen. And every time I look at this fight, style-wise, and what these guys bring to the table, and what their weaknesses are, every time I have Floyd Mayweather comfortably winning the fight. And I'm putting it out there, you know what I'm saying? I'm letting you know what my prediction is. When the fight is over, you're going to come up to me like, hey, Truth, you were wrong, man. You were wrong. And I'm going to tell you, hey, man, guess what? I was wrong. And if the fight was a good fight, I'd be like, hey, I don't care if I'm wrong. I got my $100 worth, man. All right? So now, let me say this. What I was going to say before was this. There's a lot of guys out there. Let me say this. As the fight gets closer, before the fight was made, a lot of people out there who you could tell are on Pacquiao's side, who are a little biased towards Pacquiao, even if they don't say it. You can see it in their videos. You can see it on TV when they talk to these people. You can see it when they comment on the comment sections. You can see who they're rooting for, who is truly their guy. All right, the way they talk about the fighters, you can see who their guy is. They'll claim another fighter just to make sure they keep themselves out of it. They'll claim, the fighter that I root for is this guy. All right? Some other guy who's fighting at the moment. Oh, GGG's my guy. Oh, this guy's my guy, but this is what I think. Me, my favorite fighter is no longer in this era. All right? I may not look it, but I'm a little older than most people. I don't know how old everybody is, but my favorite fighter is no longer in this era. All right? And every time to be honest with you, I used to have this thing where I hated all the new fighters, even Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. I didn't like them because I always thought to myself, these guys will never be as good as marvelous Marvin Hagler. To me, they never had that. And, things are different now. And it's different, whatever. But what I'm saying is this. A lot of these guys, the closer the fight it gets to the fight, you'll realize something. Those who were saying that Manny Pacquiao would beat him up easily, they're starting to go, this fight is going to be a close fight. They're starting to change how they see the fight a little bit. Because they're starting to change things a little bit. Oscar de la Hoya, remember him? He used to say Floyd would win when Floyd was under his banner, right? Once Floyd left, what did he say? Pacquiao. He went for Pacquiao. Pacquiao will do it. Pacquiao. As the fight gets closer, he starts to tell you things like, my mind is with Floyd, but my heart is with Pacquiao. Why would he say something like that? Well, that way, the reason why he says this is because what he knows in his mind, what is actually factual in his mind, is that Floyd will win. In his heart, what he hopes would happen. You see the difference? Now, a lot of these guys too, on the YTPC, you'll see them. They talk a certain way, but they don't ever tell you exactly who but you could tell who they're rooting for, who they want to win. And as the fight gets closer, instead of them going to see their men winning, they start to see the fight as a draw. They start to see the fight a little closer than what they used to think it would be. They start to see the fight a little closer, a little closer. You know why? Because your mind, as a human being, reality is something that your mind cannot escape. You can be rooting for someone. No matter how much I love Manny Pacquiao, because I can relate to Manny Pacquiao, to where he comes from, to the struggles of his youth. I understand this. You know, I am not originally from the United States, and I understand the struggles of where he comes from. All right? No matter how much I would root for him, my mind knows boxing. So my mind, every time I would do something, my mind would be like, you're just doing this because you kind of like Pacquiao a little better because of your little biasness towards him. So my mind will not allow me to do the bias thing. So I have to tell you what I truly believe. A lot of these guys, what's happening to them is their mind is getting clearer. The closer the fight gets, the closer the days of the days get to the fight. Their mind are getting clearer. Why? Because they've always known. They've always known 5 years ago. They've always known who would win this fight. They saw who was technically better. They saw who was bigger. They saw all these things 5 years ago, 6 years ago. They saw those things when Manny Pacquiao was beating Barrera. They saw these things already. They see them today. Why is their minds changing slowly? Because they knew this back then. It's just not now that the fight is getting closer. No man wants to look like an idiot. No man wants to look like an idiot. So what do? You say the closest thing to spare you from looking stupid. All right? Because you've been biased this whole time, rooting with your heart. Because for some unknown reason, some people, I mean, I understand you don't like the man outside the ring, because I don't care for Floyd Mayweather. I really don't. I don't care for the guy. He does nothing for me. He's not a family member. You know, he does nothing for my life, so I don't care for him. He does his thing. The only thing I care for is what he does in the ring, because that's the only thing I like watching is boxing. So when he's in the ring, I'll watch what he does. Other than that, I really don't care. Now, here's what I'm saying. A lot of people seem to care and not like this guy so much. And others, I understand why they root for Pacquiao. It's because that's their countrymen. Who wouldn't root for their countrymen? Who wouldn't? Brian Jennings was just fighting Klitschko. You think I wasn't rooting for Brian Jennings? I was. But I knew Klitschko was going to win. In my mind, I already knew this. All right? Now, here's what I'm saying. A lot of these guys, they're starting to make the fight a little closer every time. Watch on Friday. Watch some of these channels' predictions on Friday. By Friday, watch some of these channels' predictions. All right? And I'm going to tell you, a lot of these guys is because they don't have the courage. All right? If you truly are rooting for Manny Pacquiao, and you want Floyd to lose, so why don't you come out and say it? Be like, look, man, I want Pacquiao to win, and I just don't think he can do it in my mind because of what I see in their skills. Because that's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't care who wins, to be honest with you. Pacquiao, Mayweather, who wins? What I want is my money's worth. I've been trying to tell people, I want my money's worth. I don't want to be able to sit back, man, I was there for the fight of the century, man. This fight was crazy. I'm going to tell you this and that and that and that. Even though if Marvin Hagler was there, he'd whoop both their butts. But that's what I want. But I know in my mind, I knew 5 years ago, just like every last one of you knew 5 years ago what you were looking at. Every last one of you. You can pretend like you didn't, but you did. You knew what you were looking at. But you had a bias. So your bias made you say what you said 5 years ago. Now, why don't you stick to your bias, to your thought 5 years ago now? Why not? I'm telling you, a lot of people are gonna be wondering what's going on. Some of you already know what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen in the fight. You know. All of you know. Every person, before a fight starts, besides something that you couldn't possibly imagine happening in the fight, like something extraordinary, like a lucky punch lands, or every fight you watch, if you've been following the fighters, you know the outcome of the fight. You know the outcome of the fight. You knew Alexander couldn't beat Khan. Why did you know he couldn't beat Khan? Because Khan throws so many punches. He's fast. He doesn't stick around for you to hit him. So you saw what Timothy Bradley did to Alexander. So you knew Amir Khan was going to beat Alexander. But you rooted for Alexander because that's what you're biased towards. All right? You don't like Khan, so you root for Alexander. All right? Or when you look at the Danny Garcia, Lamont Peterson fight, you knew what was going to happen on this fight unless Danny lands a hard punch. You knew Danny was going to get outboxed. Eric Morales was outboxing Danny. Amir Khan was outboxing Danny. You knew what was going to happen in the fight. You already knew this before the fight took place. If you followed the fighters, you know what's going to happen. Unless something crazy happens. Unless something crazy happens, you know what's going to happen in this fight. You knew same thing with the Canelo fight, but your bias told you to say this. But you knew what was going to happen in the Canelo fight. You gotta understand that when you're trying to predict a fight, there's a difference between how you feel and what you know. All right? What you want to happen and what your mind can make an intelligent assessment of what's going to happen. All right? Every fight you saw, every fight you watched, if you followed the fighters, you already had an intelligent assessment of what's going to take place in that fight. The only thing is, if you're biased towards one fighter, your feelings might get in the way. And that's exactly what's happened in this matchup, man. Every single one of you in the YTBC know. You know what's going to happen in this fight. You can see it clear as day. But those of you who are biased are gonna walk the fine line. You're going to walk in between it. Say it's going to be a draw. That's what you think. Say stuff like that. Say, it's going to be really close. So, and this guy might edge it out. I don't know what's going to happen in the fight. Even the fighters know. Oscar De La Hoya he knows what's going to happen in the fight. That's why he says his mind goes Mayweather, but his heart, his corazón goes with Pacquiao. Why does he say that? Because he knows what's going to happen in the fight. In his heart, he hopes something unrealistic goes on in the fight and gives Manny Pacquiao the win. Like a shot lands that hurts Floyd. Just like the Mosley shot that landed on Floyd. Everybody knew what was going to happen in the Mosley fight. we were just hoping that maybe something would land. Just like everybody knows what's going to happen in this fight. Miguel Cotto wouldn't say anything. Why? He's training under Freddie Roach. He's been in there with both. He knows who got better skills and who's a bigger guy. He knows this. He knows he almost got stopped in the 12th round with Mayweather. He knows this. The thing is, he can't say anything. Why wouldn't he? You're in the camp with Pacquiao. You're automatically supposed to be saying Manny Pacquiao. Why won't you give an answer? You don't think that's because he has his mind is telling him one thing, and he knows if he says that one thing while he's in that camp, that it's not going to look good? So what does he do? He doesn't give a prediction. You know what I'm saying? And you know, every fighter knows, most of the fighters know what's happening in that fight. And a lot of people just don't want to give an answer because they know, but their heart is with someone else. And to me, it's gonna be really crazy Saturday night when you watch it unfold in front of you, especially the fans who don't really understand boxing. They're gonna watch it unfold and they're not gonna understand why, and they're gonna think something shady is going on, something weird is going on. Why is Manny Pacquiao afraid of Mayweather's punches? Why does he not just run through his punches? Why are Mayweather's punches stunning him? Why is it making him reset his punches? They're not going to understand these things. They're not going to understand what's going on. And it's going to be sad. To me, as a YTBC guy, if you're part of YTBC, and you know what? You know what's going to happen. You need to stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to yourself. You need to come out and say what your mind really thinks and what you feel you should happen in your heart. What you want to happen in your heart. What I want to happen in my heart? A good ass fight. Both fighters get knocked down, drag out fight. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would like to happen. And one fighter barely wins the fight. That would be cool. But I know in my mind what's going to happen. And a lot of you need to come out and say that. Watch as the fight gets closer. Some of these guys who are Pacquiao going to blitz him and destroy him. Some of these guys are going to start coming to their senses a little bit. Fight's going to start getting a little closer. All right? Anyways, man, I got some guy who bet me, something for this fight. And we'll see what happens. Anyways, man, let me know what you think. What is your prediction? Your honest prediction using your brain, not your feelings. Tell me how you feel, but tell me what your brain is telling you. Anyways, I'm out. Peace.